What up, everybody? Matt Farah here. Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Off the Record. We love Off the Record here because they are looking out for you everywhere in the country. Look, if you get a moving violation, big, small, or in between, don't plead guilty. Get Off the Record. They will fight that ticket all the way up if they need to the Supreme Court, I'm telling you. No, for real though. They will connect you with a qualified attorney in almost any jurisdiction in the United States. Those folks will fight these tickets, and I got to tell you, the vast majority of the time, they win. It's relatively affordable, and if you use code TST, offtherecord.com/TST, you get 10% off all legal services from Off the Record. Don't plead guilty. Get Off the Record. They can only help. offtherecord.com/TST. All right, folks, on this episode of the podcast, we review the Volvo EX30 and the Singer DLS. Oh, wait, no, I can't say that. It's the Porsche 964 reimagined by Singer as part of the Dynamics and Lightweight and Study Commission. Did I get that right? Please don't sue me. Also, I don't buy Wesley Snipes' gun. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Let's go. I don't believe you.
Well, I'm a little sleepy, but we're technically alive.
Did you get the new COVID? Is that
No.
new hot shit?
Did you?
No.
Oh.
But I don't know. I wonder if Sarah did. Because I saw a story yesterday. There's like new hot COVID coming in.
Well, there's always like new varieties of the
I'm just
virus
saying.
evolves, right?
But like you guys got like COVID. Like the last time we went boating.
Yeah, we did.
You got
we
COVID
we got 1.0.
1.0 beta.
That was a lot worse.
Yeah, it was like your COVID was like a Cybertruck Foundation series.
It was pretty bad.
No good. All right, I'm glad you're just sleepy and not full of COVID.
No, I
That's
just didn't
good.
sleep very well. It's
Oh,
different. Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
it's fine.
I hope it was because you were working for me. No. Okay, a lot to talk about on this show. I drove a Singer DLS. That's worth talking about. But first, I almost recklessly spent money this morning. Mm-hmm. I attempted to recklessly spend money this morning, but it didn't go well. But my sensibilities kicked in, Clapman. That's
Okay.
what happened. I'm on a text thread with some of my friends from back east, and I was like, to them this morning, I was like, all right, guys, this is going to sound elitist and douchey, but you're my friends, so I can say this to you. What is an appropriate amount of money to spend on Wesley Snipes' gun from Demolition Man to hang in my bathroom? Like, where do you draw the line of this is too silly and you should not spend the money, and this is, a funny thing that's awesome and like worth having? Do you have a photo of the gun?
I gotta find it.
It's his future gun. Keep going. That.
The magnetic accelerator.
It's the only gun in the movie that's really like crucial to the plot. It's like the future gun that
Because all the other ones are just normal firearms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on top of it being a crucial prop to the plot of the movie, it's also based on a Heckler and Koch prototype of a gun that was never made.
Whoa.
So it's actually got some sort of double history. And I don't, me, like I don't like collect guns. Like if this wasn't the devil, I didn't use. So anyway, what do you think? You know me, and what is an appropriate amount of money to spend on something so silly?
On this?
Yeah.
Prototype. Do I? Well, I don't really know how much you spent on the printer thing. Can I have that for context?
I didn't buy the printer thing.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't win.
Oh, wait.
No.
What do you have?
You mean the thing that printed out the fines? No,
Yeah.
I was going to bid up to like $4,000 or $5,000 for that. I thought that was silly, and it went. And
it is, bro.
It was.
It is.
But it went for 16.
Jesus. But all those numbers are higher than I was expecting.
Yeah. Well, I asked my friends back east. And these
some
are
of your
not,
friends.
No. This isn't. I do have some rich friends back east,
okay.
but those friends are not on this text message.
Okay.
My friends on this text message are regular fucking working stiffs. And they do all right, but they're like regular people. One of them said 200 grand.
What?
I was like, what are you fucking nuts? I was thinking 5. And he was like, oh, spend away.
Yeah.
He was like, I had to buy something dumber than that to put in my living room that, so whatever. I mean, look, once you become a homeowner, you start buying weird shit for your house, and everything is really expensive. But like, okay,
5 for, and because of the printer, for context, that helps me. I think this has more value than the printer, but
well, the printer would have been funny.
Like $800.
Yeah, no. That's kind of what I thought. I thought I would get this for like $2,000, but like, and I was going to turn it into the toilet paper dispenser, which I thought is hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, definitely that didn't happen. So,
all right, so 5.
Yeah, so I told Hannah I would be in up to 4, right?
Okay.
The pre-auction estimate was like a $1,500 to $2,500.
But I'm sure this went for like 200 because it's big, it's a gun, and there's people out there, that have a lot more disposable income. And
it didn't go over 200,
and you can stand it upright and light it and put it in your 4th foyer or some shit.
Right.
6 figures?
No.
Wow.
No. But after telling Hannah that my highest bid was going to be 4, my actual highest bid was 9. And then it sold for 15 plus buyer's premium, so it was really like 17.5 out the door.
Wow, people were as excited. I'm actually maybe encouraged by society. They were as excited about this as they were about the printer. They sold for the same money.
Yeah.
That's bananas to me.
There was some other great stuff in this auction, too. It was a big prop master was retiring and, like, selling off his collection. There was some wild shit in there, dude. The fucking Wilson volleyball from Castaway went for, like, $180,000. Yeah.
How many? I'm sure they had more than
12.
one on set.
There was 12 balls. There were 12
Good
Wilsons.
Lord.
Yeah.
People need to pay higher taxes.
No, but there's, like, of course. But, like, there's, like, look, if you're going to go buy... Have you ever tried to buy like art? I mean,
once.
Probably not, but like
once.
Yeah, and you look at something and you go, "This is nice. How much is this?" And they go, "It's $35,000," and you go, "I'm sorry, what the fuck? This is by somebody that I haven't heard of." And you go, "Well, you haven't heard of them yet."
Right.
And you go, "Eat a fucking dick." And look, this is funny money for the vast majority of people. I don't have $35,000 art on my walls, but I've been in those stores before where I go, "Oh, this looks nice. How much is this?" And they go, "It's $27,000." And you go, "Fuck right off. I expect you to just say $500."
Yeah.
And like, I'm not trying to insult artists. I know it takes materials and time and creativity. Like, okay, and if you can get it, God fucking bless. But for my whatever equivalent dollar, that's Wesley Snipes' gun from Demolition Man. That's a better, more fun thing to have in my house.
I agree with that completely. There's also an auction coming up, Matt. It's a little cheaper, something more affordable for you, perhaps.
The Stallone Pre-Pro Photo.
It's $100. I think
tell you
we could
what.
put you on a payment plan.
You know what I wish I bought instead that was like 10 lots before mine in the auction? The one of the 5 Back to the Future 2 You're Fired faxes went for like $3,200. Wow. And I mean, still, you're talking about an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that appeared in a movie, but iconic scene, iconic film. It fits in a small frame on your wall, and that's a pretty cool conversation piece for the vast majority of people between the ages of 35 and 50.
I feel like we could find what are these printers called again?
I could get a replica on Etsy for $20, but that's not.
No, but you need
not the same thing.
Oh, it's got this thing.
I don't actually want the print. Oh yeah. No, if you could get it like that, like hanging out of that printer, that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
machine back.
Other than that, I mean, you got the real. It's got to be the real.
Well, the real
shit.
thing's a story. Like, so it depends on what. Yeah, of course.
I like real things. I wouldn't want to get.
It's true. You don't like replica cars.
I don't like replicas of stuff, and I know I have that relic fake aged McCready. We talked about that with my guitar. Like, okay, I'm not a perfect fucking consistent person, but like in general, if you can have the real thing. I wouldn't fill my
because the real
bathroom.
McCready guitar would.
It's his.
Right.
It's,
so there's no price on it.
That's
impossible.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
So, but in general, I like the real stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, man, if you were not even like insanely rich, but kind of rich, and just wanted to fill your house with some awesome stuff, that auction was fucking chock full of shit.
Wow.
It's fucking Quint's like harpoon gun from Jaws. Like pretty like there was a hoverboard. There were actually 2 hoverboards. One was screen used and one was a promotional used. There was like a bunch. The hoverboards were like, you know, 100.
Dude, if you're a prop
they really
master,
were like $100,000.
That's a good ROI as a prop master. Like you've got this thing, you made it for whatever, you got paid to make it, and then you sit on it for 40 years and then sell it for 100 times what it cost to make.
If
or
the movie's
more.
good, yeah.
Sure.
Wow. And they were saying apparently, you know, some movies. They were making them like fast, and they had to like destroy a lot of the props to like just clear out the storage room for the next movie that was coming in, and so they just like burned half of it. So like there was a few movies, and I forget the exact list, but like where just stuff from them is incredibly rare because they like just literally burned all of the props when they were done shooting. Yeah,
Damn, dude,
it was neat.
I want to see.
So, what?
Okay. Oh, never mind.
Oh. So, and also, you know, last show we talked about this thing with was it last show? We talked about the thread from Rennlist. Was that last show? Was that 2 shows ago? All right. Well, our friend Rob Dietz, Wob, who was sort of dragged into this as part of a dealer, he responded to the thread. He sent it to me to read. And it really made me think that we maybe jumped the gun by talking about it on the show and spreading that it existed. Because although Rob Dietz, who is Wob, wasn't able to literally debunk every single point in it, he was able to debunk enough of it that it made me question the rest of it. And question the rest of it like to the point of like being like, I feel a little guilty that we talked about that without maybe following up on some sources ourselves first. Like, I feel like we lent a lot of like potentially undue credence to the thing, to the idea that what was in it was fact, and some of it could be fact, but like a whole bunch of it is not. And in fact, in a sort of hilarious example, one of the accounts that's accused of being a car dealer that's buying these cars is literally the guy who bought my NSX, who I know personally is an individual, like who is friends with not just Rob Dietz also, because it was funny because he bought my NSX and he bought a car from Rob, and we put them on the same truck together. We coordinated shipping to this guy, and that guy's also friends with Rob Ferretti, because Rob Ferretti sent me a text from this dude with like a photo like, hey man, look, I bought Matt's NSX. So like it's a guy. It's not a dealer. It's like a fucking dude. So like, you know, I can personally prove that one of these people actually is the user that bought my car and isn't a dealer. Like, so he posted a very lengthy and detailed response to this thread, and I'm not saying that nothing in it is true, and I'm certainly not saying that everything in it is true, but I think maybe before we talked about it, we should have probably followed up a little bit better. I think that's kind of my bad.
Yeah, I think we talked in the car. Like, if we're writing an article, you have more time between story breaks and you publish story.
Yeah.
So you would be almost required, like by the magazine, to go check a bunch of sources. And with this stuff, it's like the story pops up 4 hours before we record, and we and a lot of other people who are not news networks, and this is the benefit of news networks, is they have these like journalistic requirements, is we're like, oh, we're talking about this thing, and like we'll see how it develops.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of content in like let's report on it as it develops, but it does leave the story a bit one-sided until Wob reaches out.
Yeah. So it seems like not 100% debunked, but like pretty substantially debunked. Debunked enough to know that we probably shouldn't be treating it as fact, or certainly not as like really hard evidence of a direct.
Well, I think the OP would have to come back with more evidence because, like, he referenced he made an app in his original post that was like
basically what Rob says to summarize some of the things, like the AI or the app or whatever they did, it got a lot of the orders of ownership wrong. It got a lot of the end users wrong. And if you just look at the Carfaxes of those specific VINs, you can see that a lot of those VINs do end up at end users and are not like still in these dealer inventory like you're implying. And like if you some of the things got the order of ownership wrong, and so like there was an owner here and then it went to a dealer and then to another owner, like it was just like not and look, again, I didn't personally go through every Carfax that Rob put in his response. He put a very thorough response. You can go read it or not, but it casts enough doubt in a way. The two ones that I did look into, he put links to the fucking things. The two I looked into did back up his version of the events. So, I would say that it's substantially debunked, if not totally.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's like I felt like it was important to
I think it's very important
probably
to say,
update with that. We can't go back and change a previous episode so much, although we could put a little thing in the podcast in the notes, I suppose, or the comments on YouTube. But at least we can, as we find out some updated information, Should we talk about the Volvo EX30 before
Sure.
we go to
DLS
the
land?
Singer DLS? Yeah, tease that shit, dude. Don't put the fucking good shit in the back. Guys, taking a break because support is coming in hot from DeleteMe. You guys know about DeleteMe because I've been talking about it for a while because I've been using it for a while. They make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everybody vulnerable because data brokers are making a profit off of your data. It's a commodity. People buy it, sell it, trade it. And by it, I mean your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with DeleteMe. And data brokers are out there running entire businesses about this. You got to fight back, and that's what DeleteMe does. Because this is important to me. I had a friend who got their identity stolen. Someone opened a credit card in my dad's name somehow in Texas. It's crazy out there. So all you have to do is when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire, we'll get back to that. You give them your personal information. And I understand the irony there, but that's what you got to do. You have to tell them what to find. So you tell them where you used to work, where you live, where you used to live, your family, your siblings, etc. Your boilerplate information. And then DeleteMe goes to work, finding all this stuff and sending takedown notices. And then after about a month, you get a thing saying, we found your name and address like everywhere. And then you have to click a few things to confirm that you want stuff deleted, and then every month that happens, and the number of places that they find your information gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's probably never going to go to zero because it's always an ongoing system, but the calls, the scam calls, the text messages that I was getting before have definitely been reduced thanks to DeleteMe. So you can get 20% off your DeleteMe plan and take control of your data, keeping your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe. Special discount for our listeners when you go to joindeleteme.com/tire and then use promo code TIRE at checkout. That's the only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/tire and enter code TIRE at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/tire, code TIRE.
Let me get some pictures.
Yeah, EX30. I got to go take some pictures of this thing before it goes back, but there it is. The EX30, dead car rolling.
What's funny is that they were going to bring a single motor car here. They canceled that. They
Yeah.
brought this here, and then they canceled this.
Yes. So, Zach, you've been driving it for 2 days. I drove it for 3 days before that. Do you have some thoughts?
I have notes.
Yeah?
There they are. Let's see. Overall, I like it.
You do like it?
I do like it. There are imperfections, absolutely, and we will get to those. But, well, I liked it more when I thought it cost the $36,000 the single motor was supposed to cost. This, dual motor only. This has a couple of nice things on it: heated steering wheel, heated seats, da 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 da. It's like $49,000.
Yeah.
Which is the average price of an EV in America, but like that's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's the same or maybe more than Mach-E.
I think it's more than some Mach-E.
It's more than some Mach-Es, for
it's
sure.
It's more than the dual motor Model 3, but it's cheaper than the Model 3 Performance.
Sure.
That has that one's like 55 and it has adaptive shocks and all, but and way more horsepower. But this thing's got 400 horsepower.
I think
it's quick.
It's very quick.
Very
Not
quick.
only is it very quick, to me the normal, it's got like eco mode, normal mode, and sport mode. I think the throttle is a little too sensitive in normal mode. I prefer to drive it in eco mode or range mode all the time. I actually like the a little bit dumber throttle. In normal mode, the throttle is fucking sharp.
It's pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, and when paired with a one-pedal drive, I think it can be a little jumpy. Like when you hit a bump, it can make some jerky.
That Jaguar jerk.
The Jaguar. That's funny. Because
the Jaguar jerk.
There's a Crazy People reference in there too.
Hand jobs for people that you hardly know.
For women you hardly know. But what really drives me nuts about this car is that it reverts to standard. It reverts to its own mode every time. Like full ADAS back on every time you restart the car. Lane keep assist, all that back on every time you start the car. And even if I leave the car in range mode, it restarts in standard mode. It doesn't stay in range mode. The Mach-E, if I put it in range mode, would stay there until I took it out of range mode.
Did that only happen? Does that happen with Mach-E press cars, or only when you owned it and you'd like use your app or your phone as a key and shit?
No, I never.
So
for 3 years, I used fobs as a key. I never once used my phone.
Yeah, then point against for sure.
Dude, there's this fucking full-on binary that's about to start happening with these cars where does the car stay with the ADAS off and sort of how I left it, or does it fucking not? And man, every car is failing.
Even if it was going to always revert to ADAS because they'd be like, it's safer, blah, 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 why wouldn't it stay in the range mode you wanted?
Yeah, that's
a really weird change.
That's really strange.
Things I like, it's also smaller than the Mach-E. It's the size of a Bolt.
Yeah.
So
I like the compact footprint, actually. I found it easy to park.
Easy to drive, blah, 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 blah. I thought it steers pretty good. I got used to the squeal, the square wheel. I wonder if, with the square wheel stuff, if they just looked at how most drivers operate cars and they go, all right, you're mostly going straight. You take a turn, that's 10 seconds of your life, then you're going straight again. Because the wheel feels like it's designed to be comfortable going straight. Like people that rest their hand on the top, the bottom, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I went around a roundabout, the steering ratio is not quick enough.
Right.
Where I had to get pretty crossed up. I wanted to test it. Like, can I just turn this 90 degrees like a Ferrari? No, I had to get really crossed up. And so you have to do a little hand over hand on these 90-degree angles.
Not just that. There's no gauge cluster in front of the steering wheel.
My least favorite thing.
Which I can live with. It's not my favorite, but I can live with it. But this is one of a very small places where I have to give Tesla credit. Tesla's interiors are Spartan so they can be cheap. Fucking no question about that. But at least they have a very low cowl, and you can put the steering wheel where the fuck ever. Because there's no gauges there. Like, I like a low steering wheel, and the fact that there's no gauges to block, and I can actually have the steering wheel low where I like it, it's actually incredibly comfortable to drive. This thing, the steering wheel's up here.
Yeah.
I sit in a way where I have to sit pretty low, with the seat almost all the way down, if not down, and my head is a fist from the roof in this Volvo. So one fist. So it's not like I'm sitting too low and need to sit higher, right? And where I sit, and my head is up here by the roof, the steering wheel is up here, where my hands have to be way too high, even at its lowest position. And if you put the steering wheel up to its highest position, it's like blocking my view
like
out the window.
Truck thing.
It's so weird.
I also noticed this does something that the old Tacomas did, where when I get in the right position for my legs, I am sitting too far away from the wheel. It doesn't telescope enough.
Right.
If I move closer, my knee touches the dash, which I don't like. And then this thing has, I think it has either a very large B-pillar, or because of the way the seating position's laid out and the dash to axle ratio, I found myself not seeing cars in the blind spot. Like it has a larger blind spot because I'm so close to the B pillar.
Maybe that's why it has so much
right next to my
ADAS.
head. I think, but the blind spot monitoring light on the mirror is a little bit dim.
Yeah.
I wish that was brighter. Most cars I've driven, like it pops out, and I drove it today at noon, and I was like, oh, that light is flashing. Didn't like that. The one pedal driving was kind of weird. You operate EVs more often than I do. So one pedal, I had it in high regen, essentially. High whatever, one pedal, aggressive.
That's a lot.
And it was a lot, but I was like trying to time the lift off to come to a stop at a light. And I was coming up short a lot by a couple car lengths. I was getting used to it. But I noticed that if I tap the gas very lightly, like, oh, I need to move forward 8 more feet, it would release the brake almost entirely and then just start coasting. And it didn't know that I was just trying to like move up a little like some other cars have. So then I would actually have to get onto the brake.
So
like,
the regen one pedal drive sort of stopped at creep speeds.
it like cancels itself at creep speed.
So there's a toggle in the car to turn creep on or off. Did you toggle it off?
I didn't fuck with that, but I know that when I've driven Mach-E and when I've driven your Taycan, like either timing the one pedal is easier, or when it knows I'm decelerating, like it feels like you're coming to a stop, the car seems to know it. And if you give it a tiny, like 1% of gas to just get,
It'll just
get a little
extend.
closer,
The Mach-E
it
did
extends
that. The Mach-E
that
did
one
that.
braking or that one pedal braking. So that just needed a little bit of calibration.
Yeah, I wonder if you toggle off the creep, if
try that
that
on the
was
way
a
home.
different thing. But I thought dynamically it was all right.
Sure.
I thought
I think the ride's pretty good.
The ride was decent. The suspension and the brakes were decent. I thought the handling was decent. It drove predictably. I liked the small turning circle. But the driving position with that steering wheel was really weird. The ADAS not turning off was really weird. And I thought I don't like this Android-based tablet thing they use very much.
I found it pretty easy to use. Like it nested CarPlay in the Android shit pretty well.
It did do that. Yeah, it did do that. I agree. But I think I was surprised at, I don't know, maybe it was just 'cause it was really hot when I got in the car and I was like panicking. I found the climate control less intuitive than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, when it's on auto, it's just blasting. And then when you switch, you have to go, and that's another thing with the whole, like, the tablet thing. You have to go, there are 2 different climate menus. The climate menu always sits at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay, I want to turn the fan down. So I brought that menu up. There's no option for that.
Right.
That menu only has, like, sync the sides, temperature, and,
that's
like,
it.
seats and steering wheel. You have to, like, go into the Android menu, climate, and that's where you can decide to put it into manual mode or eco mode
So
or
that was
auto.
where I was trying to figure it out. The car had been sitting outside my house on the really hot day. It was like 1,000 degrees in there. I'm trying to drive somewhere, and I'm like hitting that thing where I think the climate thing is, and it's like not bringing up the like max AC or any. And I set the temperature down to like 60 or whatever the lowest is, and it's just going.
Oh, really?
Just. I'm like, what the fuck? And it took me a long time to figure out, oh, there's a second climate menu in here that I have to mess with. So that once you learn that, like, okay, but like that's like a little clunky.
It was a little clunky. I wish you could just like pull up the way you can in a Lucid and it would bring up the whole climate menu. It also has like the ADAS yawn patrol. So I got in the car today. I'd been in the car for 3 minutes, and I yawned, and it goes bling and says, "Do you need to take a break?"
Yeah.
It's like the car's been operating for 3 minutes all day.
Oh, here's
and it's
the other
just
one.
because it's detecting where your eyes are and what your mouth is doing.
It's shockingly fast for a little thing. You know,
Dude, 0 to 60 is 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, we're driving the M2 CS at the same time, and I swear to God, up to about 80, the Volvo beats the BMW, especially when you consider like traction and things like that. Like there's almost no way 0 to 80 that BMW beats this little Volvo. Like it's not fucking happening. But
We're talking about the air conditioning windows.
Oh
thing,
yeah.
So we can come back.
But
to that.
it's just there's some things about it that are weird that kind of bug me. The position of the steering wheel, to me, maybe it fits someone else's body, but it doesn't fit mine.
I was kind of bummed. Like the center console, you know, you can hide the cup holders and they pop out. All right, fine. When you hide them, it's just this giant open space, like the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
You can reach all the way to the floor.
Yeah.
And then it has this angled shelf that can hold your phone, I guess. But
Well, it's a
so
wireless
big.
charger.
But it's like iPad sized.
Dude, you know, in general, I've now found the M2 CS, which I think we'll talk about really next show. This car, a couple other cars I've driven recently have really devoted an awful lot of real estate space to wireless phone chargers that don't charge my fucking phone very well.
They don't work.
They make my phone really hot, and like best case scenario, if I'm like using Google Maps and playing a podcast, best case scenario level.
Yeah.
It keeps it level.
Yeah. You're gambling and going to work, and you're just breaking even every day.
Yeah. Whereas when I'm plugging in my phone to a USB-C, it's actively putting juice into the phone.
Totally. Keeps it, well, we'll get it from 20 to full in a reasonable amount of time. And this is an ongoing problem. We've had wireless charging out now for, 6 years.
Yeah.
And that was a problem in the beginning, is if your phone moved at all, it would disengage it. That still happens. Very few companies went with some sort of holder that kept it in place. And then even so, other than what we say, Porsche, no one has a cooler for the phone.
Cooling,
so it can only charge at a certain rate, which is pretty low. It feels like a gimmick that they sell people, and the people that buy the cars for the first time with wireless charging have never experienced the hell of it. And then they go, oh, cool. And then they try it, but they can't return the lease, and they go, fuck.
It stinks.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it stinks. In fairness to Volvo, there is a thing that holds the phone in place. So if once it's charging, it's not like flopping around. In the BMW M2, it was flopping around. It's just it sits there, and you hit a bump, and all of a sudden you're not charging anymore. Like, that shit's mad annoying, dude. So most of the things about the BMW M2 that I did not like are manufacturer wide, software type issues. You know what I mean? Like that, not necessarily dynamic issues. Although next week when we talk about that car, we'll talk about a few of those. There's cars not perfect dynamically. There are some notes. But the Volvo,
I thought it was a pretty fun. It's nice to have a Model 3 option that I think is pretty good. It's just got canceled because of EV incentives. So
I mean, you may be able to get one on the cheap.
Maybe.
And if that's the case, have at it. Because the range is good, the power is great. If it fits your body, then I like that it's a luxurious feeling car in a small footprint.
Pretty damn adjustable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No. I didn't learn the lumbar adjustments are hidden.
Yeah, you got to tap the button.
Yeah, I didn't. It took me 2 days. I was like, why is there no lumbar on
I think I only know that because of the Volvo V90 I drove over Thanksgiving. Same thing, like that square holds all the keys. So if you tap it, it's what is it? Like a 12 functions hidden within one button.
Yeah.
So
you got to know how to operate that device. It took me a minute to be like, why is my lumbar not right on this? And that's why. But thank you to Volvo for letting us have a go. Maybe next time, don't kill the model before our test, and we will do more covering it.
I mean, I think they didn't want to, but
right.
Forces larger than them.
Right. Now, the dynamics and lightweighting study, Porsche 964, reimagined by Singer. I think I've pronounced that. Porsche 964 reimagined by Singer as part of the dynamics and lightweighting study. Maybe.
I feel like you're lawsuit proof now.
I think I'm pretty lawsuit proof. Most people would just know the letters DLS and know what I'm talking about. Finally got to have a go. It was a short go. It's not a real. Well, it wasn't not. It was. I'm pretty in tune with cars. I don't need a super long go to know what amazing is. So Maz from Singer, I saw him at Malibu when I was with Christian Hand in the Manx. And Maz was like, oh, I really want to have a go in the Manx. And I was like, you may have a go. And he tosses me the key. And I was like, ooh, nice light key. He's like, yeah, you think that's light? Wait till you feel the car. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, Christian, fucking get in. Let's go. And, man, I understand. I understand. I would really think about compromising my morals for one of these fucking things, for sure. That meme that's like money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a jet ski, and you don't see unhappy people in a jet ski. It's that exact thing. And it's like, Yeah, so you just build up a business, get like 10,000 employees, and then just like fire half of them, pocket the money, and then you have one of these. Like, okay, cool, could do that.
Well, so the last Singer we drove was the Turbo, right?
Right.
So
the Turbo
give me comparison.
So like the Turbo is the ultimate daily, right? If you're super fucking rich, that Turbo isn't a weekend car from you. You drive that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the best thing about all this, but in a package with like fabulously light clutch and could just every
it's the perfect blend of old car and new car flavor.
Yeah. It's like if you had the lightness of inputs of a brand new Cayman, but in this old looking car that has like 500 horsepower and rips. Like that's kind of what that is.
But modern turbo throttle response. Yeah, it's so good.
This is like the weekend version of that, where like, with this motor, this 4-cam motor that's like co-developed with Williams, when you like blip, yes, it revs to 9, but like when you just do the blip, it's like that, zoop, zoop, you know what I mean? Like some motors, when you rev them, it's not how they open, it's how they close. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well,
there's a flywheel aspect to that. But
there's throttle bodies,
they decelerate
there's cams.
slower than they accelerate.
Right. Most motors, even high performance ones, if you go, they'll come down a little slower. This comes down at even faster than it goes up. It's like a freewheeling engine almost.
Whoa.
So it's, if you've ever heard like a fucking leader bike, like an S1000 or whatever, vroom, vroom, like vroom, 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 those really fast, like fast revs, like think F1 car or think that type of, yes, it's like that. And so you either have to shift really quick or you have to like feather the throttle a little bit in between gears because the engine feels like it has like no weight of its own. But the inputs, just like that turbo are like perfect shifter feel, just perfect, just across the board. Every input's perfect. The ride quality is like exceptional because it's like so light. It doesn't need to run a ton of spring. It has Chiron brakes. It weighs like just over half of what a Chiron weighs and has Chiron brakes.
Is that just because the brakes that are on the Chiron, are they AP Racing? Are they just so good?
Brembo. They're giant carbon. They're the biggest carbon ceramics that you could fit in this car. I think there is a bigger one, but you need to run like 22-inch wheels.
No, I'm just wondering, and obviously the engineers at Singer know what they're doing, like why does it have the brakes of a 4,000-pound car?
I think because they're the best that money can buy.
You can never have too much brake, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and it has incredibly advanced calibration. I mean, the whole thing is like, it's a TÜV like approved car.
Is it manual steering or?
It's not. It's not manual. I couldn't tell you what type of pump it is, but it is not a manual steering rack. The effort is too easy. My guess is it would be a motorsport-based one like they were using in the 993 race cars, something similar to that, which is also what Gunther uses on the turbos. Excuse me, but you just every input and like every vibration that you feel is a good one, and every bad vibration that you don't want to feel isn't there. And you can see all this raw carbon, but it doesn't feel like those hypercars that feel hollow because they're made of raw carbon where you hear all the gravel and stuff. Like it's somehow both expertly insulated and incredibly light. Mm-hmm. And like, dude, I wound out third gear to 9. I don't know how fucking fast I was going, but it was like really fast. And then just like stood on the brake pedal and it stopped like a Koenigsegg.
Yeah,
just like, this is all right. And everything about it is exactly what somebody that knows what they're doing and was given an unlimited budget would do. Like it's the most perfect car I've driven.
The turbo experience, which this is probably like that. There's a clarity to the sounds and experiences that's like a perfect stereo. Mm-hmm. Like you don't hear any little buzzes, hisses. You need, if Christian's ear was in front of the greatest stereo ever, like that's what driving these is like, both in terms of the sound, but also the sensations. They go, we know what you want to feel and what you don't want to feel and hear.
And it checks the correct box on every one of those items, which is really, really wild. Really wild. I mean, you expect it. This is like...
You'd hope
this
it
is
would
like a $3 million car. Yeah. Like, if it's not all of that, you'd go, But it has that same steering wheel that we love, that perfect steering wheel from the Turbo. I think it's a little more carbon-y in this one, but it's effectively the same shape. It has the same shifter from the Turbo because they did this first. And then they go, we're using the DLS gearbox in the Turbo now. So it's that, and it has. What's really nice is, usually if like 911 ST or even the GT3 Touring, if you have that very light clutch, the car becomes stallable. This had the very light clutch with the very revvy engine, but still not stallable. Like low speed maneuverability, it wasn't bucky and jerky. You could kind of ride the clutch a little bit and just smoothly move in and out of a parking space. It's really nice.
I wonder what they did to make that so perfect.
They spent so much fucking time on it, dude. They spent so much time on all the calibrations and stuff. There's I think it's a 5-stage traction control system, that knob right behind the shifter. There's all these different, there's different engine maps and different ABS maps. They really they did a lot of some stuff that was really OEM grade and some stuff that's really motorsport grade. Marino, did a ton of work test driving it, and this was and Maz was very he was this one's this was our prototype. It's not finished right. It's not great. I'm dude, stop telling people that because you obviously know what to look for, but whatever you think I'm seeing in this motherfucker, I'm not seeing.
If this is the crappy one, you'll take it off their hands at a heavily discounted rate.
Yeah. So dude, this thing was fast and just all the fizz. So choice. So fucking choice. You want to sell missiles to the wrong people to get one of these? You want to be like the fucking Paul brothers, go to Puerto Rico, not pay taxes, talk mad shit. If there's a singer at the other end, I kind of get it.
I mean, at least, there are cars that cost around this much money that are less perfect. And I think cars like this, and I think, Koenigsegg is similar to a degree. They set the bar so that the other people that are trying to come up and sell in their market should do their best to meet it.
Yeah.
Because this is what's available.
Well, and what I really like about this is whether you're driving it, whether you're riding in it, with a hypercar, it's what is the top speed? What is the this? What is the that? What are the numbers? Is it faster? Who the fuck cares what the 0 to 60 of this is? Mm-hmm. What's the top speed? Fuck if I know. I don't know. Something.
They don't. Yeah, that's true. They don't really talk about it.
What's the difference?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's the difference? It revs to 9, and it makes you feel like you are a god when you're driving it. That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck what the 0 to 60 time is. It's probably not even that good.
I wonder. We get asked this question a lot. Will hypercars, supercars start to slow down in the interest of driving dynamics and stuff like that? And it would take more than one company. But if all of the top end companies started focusing on engagement and making the engines at 600 horsepower, not 1,200, 1,400, whatever, I think that does trickle down from the top. Because when we were young, it was all about getting faster, more power, faster, more power. Well, now we're there, and we realize it's not everything. So maybe this will kind of right
because
the
when
ship.
we were young, faster and more power, you're still shifting. There's not a lot of computers. So we didn't know at the time that faster and more power would lead to technologies that took away from some of the fizz.
I think that's partly true. I think it was also harder to make power, especially in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's so easy. Once the things are easy to get, people don't care about it as much, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
That seems sick. The NA cars seem like the turbo ones are really fun, but I just like the response of NA, the sound of it, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got cylinder heads that fucking made by a Formula One team.
I mean, that's the engine is like,
that
worth more than my entire net worth almost.
Yeah, the engine's like $500,000 in these fucking things.
Wow. That's bananas.
It's truly an exceptional piece of machinery, and it's a shame that like all of them aren't driven. This one's got 6,800 miles on it. It's a shame that they're not all driven like that. But it's incredibly profitable to not drive one. But I would hope that if you had enough money to buy one, that you would go, like, now that I've driven it, like, I go, okay, look, you gotta be fucking seriously loaded to have, because to earn $3 million legitimately, you need to have to spend $3 million legitimately in this car. You need to have earned $7, right? Like that's you need legally if you're paying. And some rich people out there are going, LOL, no, I don't. But that notwithstanding, like that's a fucking ton of money to put into a car. But like, man.
I wonder if people
game over.
People that can
dude.
afford this. There's probably a lot of people that buy these cars and they have 10 to 20 other cars, and they've got all the cool hypercar stuff. It would be nice if these racked up more miles than the other stuff, because this is focused on driver enjoyment, and would kind of pull them away from the big power figures.
I hope. I mean, there are a few cars that I've driven, most of which are Porsches, mainly because they're the last really manual transmission cars around, but it's like it's the ST where you go and stuff like this, stuff like the where you just go, man, I could just stop right here, and I maybe that's not true. Maybe you get there and it just happens. But I can't imagine not being satisfied with something like that over a long period of time in terms of driving it, and like over a long period. How are miles not worth the money in something like that? That I don't get.
I think they're totally worth it. I mean, these are probably just going up in value, I'm sure, because the waiting list
is
huge.
Few of these.
Yeah. Vin Inatra had a funny thing he put out the other day. Like, he wants to start shaming rich people who don't drive their cars, and just be like, oh, man, could you not afford to put more miles on it? It's a great trick.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Could you not afford to put more miles on it?
Someone's like, because some people are proud of their low mileage, whatever. And you'd be like, oh, is it too expensive to drive this amazing, 458 or whatever?
Yeah. I wonder how you could spin that into a good T-shirt. There's probably a way to succinctly make that into a good T-shirt, but I like the idea as a concept. If it was like the Daniel Mack, but the opposite.
Who's Daniel Mack?
The what do you do for a living guy.
Oh, right.
If it was the opposite of that, like, tell me about your car. How many miles are on it? Could you not afford to put more? That's actually a pretty funny gag. I like that.
You just start with, what do you do for a living? They're like, oh, and like, does it not make you enough money to drive this very often?
Yeah, do you not make
enough? If someone has 20, 50 cars, like, they can't drive. They can't put that many miles on something. But there's people out there that have, 15 cars, and they just let them sit.
I mean, look, there's people that pride themselves on that.
Yeah.
There was that guy.
Stupid.
There was that guy that, that had a lot of Vipers, like 20 Vipers, and, all but, 2 were delivery miles. And like, he sold a few of them at a profit, but like, it's a lot of space and wasted, tied up resources.
Probably underperformed the index.
Yeah, like you could have doubled your money in 7 years or whatever, just on some basic ass shit. Anyway, but this to me is a real example of like, sometimes these really, really expensive things are like super impressive, and you want to fucking be like, there's no way that's worth it. And you go, look, after a certain point, it does get incremental. You know what I mean? To go from, and again, I realize the numbers are insane, but to go from 1 million in the turbo that we drove to 3 million in this, is it 3 times better? No, absolutely not. It's maybe 20%, 25%, right? It's just cranked up. But like, when you get to that high level, then getting to the even higher level within that is like very, very difficult. Like the amount, like that. This car to me is the most, quote, everything is important car that I've driven from that company.
Wow.
That's like their sort of motto. But like, this is the first one where even after like 10 minutes, I was like, nothing about this could be better. This is exactly the thing. So like, I get it, I guess. They probably
Perfection is expensive.
It's fucking really expensive.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to make something the best.
I should say mechanical things that are perfect tend to be expensive. Yeah.
A lot of things that are natural things that are perfect are expensive. An ocean view, a fucking diamond. I mean, you name it. Natural things can be expensive.
It's true. You can also just go, it depends on this is going to get too subjective, but the perfect, expensive, unique car is going to be expensive, unfortunately. And this is just all the things turned up to 11, and the things you don't want turned down to 0. And all that shit's expensive.
And it's shit that you didn't even know you didn't want to be better. Like the crank windows. Like this thing has crank windows. But the crank window mechanism is this beautifully like fucking made thing that it's more satisfying to roll the window down using this thing than it would be if it had. I'm sorry, I don't have a better picture of the crank window, but it's somehow better to do it that way than it is to do it the other way, because you get to use this beautifully made, machine. The turbo probably has power windows, I think it does,
yeah.
but it's just that kind of shit. Let's see. I don't know if there's a DLS interior.
Oh, that's the DLS you're driving.
Huh?
Is this the one?
Yeah, that's it. Maz brought it to. That's Chris Harris driving at the ice race.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was that. It was the same car.
Careful.
They had the turbo, but they also had Maz's car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not going to be surprising to many people to hear that this car is essentially the second coming of Jesus Christ, but. Sometimes shit is, dude. It's like that's an engine that like is in a car but feels more like a motorcycle engine is like a pretty wild thing.
Yeah.
Especially when like it's powerful enough to actually make, because with the 4-cam head, it can have a torque cam profile in the lower half of it's like VTEC. You know what I mean? So like you drive around in this thing that's like a racing engine, but below 5,000, it does have some power. You can drive around. It's not like dead. So you can drive around and like, kind of rip the thing up to about 4,000 or 5,000 RPM like you would do when you're just sort of driving normally, and it's not like a dog or it doesn't like sputter or anything like that. And then you get into it and the thing comes on cam. And it's holy fucking shit from 5 to 9. You better hang on to your balls, man. That thing is, you're going. By the time it goes past 8, you have to be ready on the brakes. Like you're going faster than even you think you are.
Is timing the upshift hard because of how quickly the revs drop?
If you're driving real fast and shifting it, not like Fox body power shifting, but like shifting it fast on the way up, you can match the revs appropriately, but with a proper lift. If you're just cruising around, you don't take your accelerator foot all the way off. You have to like catch the revs a little bit to shift slower, otherwise it won't match quite right. But that's the same as the ST. The ST was exactly the same as that. Yeah. Or if you did a manual swapped Ferrari 430, it would be just like that too. Or what do you call it? 599. But like, yeah, that's a treat. 10 minutes was not enough, but it was also enough to go, that's it. That's the shit.
How many T-shirts would we have to sell? Or how many giveaway tickets?
We'd have to like inherit, the money. We'd have to have different parents, even me. I already won that lottery, but I'd have to win a bigger one somehow, and or we'd have to like oppress people. We'd have to like do crimes. We'd have to run a scam of some kind. Speaking of scams, no.
No, don't say that. Don't segue that.
No, absolutely not. Our Porsche giveaway will probably not get us a DLS,
It won't.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
No. But
Well, it's rad you got to drive it. I mean, what a magical thing. Because it took, 20 years of this job to get to drive the Singer Turbo, I think.
yeah.
And it obviously didn't exist, but like it took that long to get a Singer press car. And so now you're jumping in. And they've got more models coming out, so this is good. You're in the door.
Yeah, wait till their crossover comes out. They have an electric crossover coming out next year.
No. They've got like
No, for China.
they've got the,
You haven't seen it? The Singer XR4BE Yang Wang.
is it made by Volvo, which is really made by,
It's outsourced to Geely. No.
yeah.
They also make a hell of a watch.
Well, no, they've
The
got,
Singer
look, they got a
watches
Cabrio coming out.
The convertible is really interesting. Did you see this? So they had the rear structure, essentially the firewall and the structure of the car behind the seats re-engineered with like a carbon insert that makes the structure of the convertible as rigid as the structure of the coupe.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they worked with, I forget who it was. They might have worked with Dallara, or they worked with it might have also, I don't think it was Williams again. I think it was a different Red Bull. I think it was Red Bull. They worked with Red Bull, I believe, to make this carbon thing that reinforces the...
Like it drops into the open...
Yeah, basically
portals.
they removed the firewall and they removed the floor of the floor pan of the car, and they replace it with this carbon cell that creates a much more rigid structure. I think if you scroll down, it shows the thing. It shows the piece. Somewhere? No, maybe not. I don't know. It looks pretty rad though, doesn't it? It's a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fun. But I'm just saying, they got 5 models available, Matt.
Yeah. Classic turbo deal. Yeah. So, thanks, Maz. Love you.
Rad.
He had good things to say about the Manx as well. He said the low-speed drivability and the throttle engagement was really good, which for a weird engine is very hard to do. Shall we go to the people?
Sure.
We should. Over at Patreon, patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast is where you help your favorite podcasters keep their show floating. It's also where you ask us questions for the live show and then subsequently watch the live show. It's where you get the show early. It's where you can get the show without ads. It's where you can get extra show. And it's where you can get access to exclusive collabs and things that we're doing over here. Zach and I had a good creative meeting yesterday for our next collab. It's not a watch. I think it could be really fucking cool.
It's really cool.
I think it's fun and different, and it's something I haven't really seen before. So I'm excited to do it. And we should have more on that one pretty soon. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be really fun. It's going to be available exclusively to patrons. Can you zoom in, please? I also, interestingly, Zach, went to have my my eye examined. I went to have my eye examined because I thought maybe my reading glasses were getting less effective. And they said my right eye has changed by 0.5%, and my left eye is the same as it was 2 years ago. So
It seems good.
I mean, it hasn't changed that much. Basically, what they said is it's probably not worth me trying to get new glasses right now. Should probably wait another year and see if it changes a little more.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm spending $500 for That's basically the equivalent of all of the clothes I bought when I was a smaller XXL that I've worn twice, and I'm now an XL, which feels really good. But now all these brand new fucking clothes are too big for me. And so it's real. Like I'm proud. I feel good. And it's nice to be able to buy XL clothes. It really opens a lot of doors. But
now you have all these clothes you bought that you can't wear.
Yeah, and I don't. It's not that I buy fancy stuff, but I buy quality stuff. So I bought like some nice sweaters and shit that are now. I wore them once; they're too big. And I'm like, damn, this fucking sweater was like $200, dude. I'm like, fuck. So I don't know what to do with that shit.
I was listening to Stavi's show, and he's like, somewhere in New York, there's a storage unit with plastic bins full of his old sweatsuits that go from 5X to like whatever he is now. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know what to do with that stuff.
Well, I was talking to my therapist this morning about this. Is it mentally healthy to get rid of all that stuff, barring the cost, or do I store it in case we see it again?
That's tough because if you get rid of it, you can go, all right, I'll never. It's like throwing away,
Yeah.
I don't know, the life vest or whatever when you get to the desert island. You're
Right.
like, I'm staying here. That's not
When
an
I was
analogy, but
fatter,
you know what I mean.
I kept my skinnier stuff in case I saw it again.
Right.
And I did.
Yeah.
But now that stuff is too fatter, too gone. So the question is, I think it's bad omen to keep the fatter stuff.
Yeah.
But a good motivation to keep the skinnier
Totally
stuff
agree.
if you go the other way.
Yeah. That's what you want, because you want to be on the skinny stuff. You don't
do.
want, but if you have this backstop.
I don't want to backstop with
Right.
the fat stuff, but there's a couple things that are like sort of expensive, like sweaters and jackets, where I'm like, ooh, I'd hate to have to buy big expensive sweaters and jackets again when I have brand new ones here.
Can you make them like winter relaxy clothes? Like you can wear the jacket with a sweater under it because it's super cold out. And
You could, but here's the thing. If you were once fat, you never again want to layer up in a way that makes you look fat.
okay.
It's real. This is a bit of fat fucking psychology. Let
Yeah.
me share with you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to bulk on your clothes to fit
Hannah
this
was like,
fatter-
and she means well. She doesn't know. She's been petite her whole life. She doesn't get this. She was like, no, what? She's like, you just wear it oversized. I go, oversized? Are you fucking crazy? You know how hard I've worked to not be wearing something oversized? I'm not just going to continue with the
But what
oversized.
if that fashion, like hip hop, 90s,
Well,
super
listen.
oversized comes back in?
If
and
Belle
you're
Biv
ready.
DeVoe comes back into fashion,
See?
that's what my tailor said yesterday with the suits. My dad has so many dope blazers. He ran Ralph Lauren. My dad has all the dope blazers in the fucking world that he doesn't wear anymore because he's retired. I'm now thin enough to wear his blazers. I'm like so stoked about this. And I'm stealing his blazers left and right. He don't even know. Except he, in his 40s, he's shrunk a little bit because he's old now, but he in his 40s, he was 6'5", and I'm 6'2". So his blazers are a little long for me, but that you can't cut them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem, is you can't shorten a custom blazer. It just like can't really be done. And so I have all these blazers that fit me like dope, except they're a little too long. And my tailor's like, just keep them for 5 years. The fashion will come to you.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. AMG Hammer Time, Couldn't Touch This, says, I listened to your review of the Lotus Carlton from a couple weeks ago, and it got me thinking about what a powerhouse Lotus engineering was in the 80s and 90s. Is it ironic they haven't put their own engine in a car in over 20 years? Engines are hard, and I think Lotus understood that their engines were not that good, and other people's engines might be better, and they can focus on the things that they do well.
I think it's also really expensive to build engines. I think, to actually forge or cast your blocks and stuff like that, it's probably a really intense and expensive endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
And Lotus has never been that flush with money.
Right. The hood left unlatched. Thoughts on JSS X as an alternative to major airlines? That's Jet Suite X. I've flown it once. For certain legs, pricing is only slightly more expensive than a major airline.
And you can bring a dog on it. We just
You can
learned.
bring a dog, smaller terminals. You fly out of the private side. I don't hate it. I would fly it more, but I am addicted to my Delta status. I'm so addicted to it. Flying on American home from the BVI with no status, bro, I can't live like this. There's no way.
It was also, even if you don't have stat, like the plane seemed old,
Plane
no
sucked.
screens.
Yeah,
that's annoying.
no, so
on a
like
cross-continental flight.
So I would use Jet Suite X a lot more if I wasn't so ingrained in the Delta sphere. I need my miles. I then use my miles. I get all these upgrades for my status. I then can use so because I fly so much for work, I get diamond status, which gets me upgrades. So I can use an upgrade and effectively buy a coach ticket and get a first class ticket. Having said that, if I couldn't do that, I would shop Jet Suite X for every flight if I did not have loyalty. It's dope.
Seems nice.
Yeah, it is dope. Yeah,
Prices vary a lot. I looked up flying across the country is much more expensive than a regular airline, but on a short trip, It can be pretty good and convenient.
Our good friend, my client, and patron Tony A. Loves Jet Suite X. He flies with his dog on Jet Suite X all the time, in cabin. Dog hangs out.
No, that's the thing, is that they're just there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my dream. I'd love it if I'm hanging out in, let's just say, Delta Comfort, exit row maybe, and someone sits down next to me with a dog. Do you mind? Yes. Let's fucking.
Yeah.
Can the dog hang out with me?
Can I pet the dog?
Yes.
There you go.
You just made my flight better. Thank you. Please bring. I know people hate dogs on flights, but not me. I like a dog.
I feel like everyone smiles when the dog gets on the flight, as long as it's a well-behaved dog.
Gavin Sullivan says Maserati Gran Turismo versus Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Thoughts? Two ways to play this one: new cars and cars that are like 2013 era cars.
Yeah, very true.
So let's start with 2013 era cars. My answer is clear Aston Martin.
I agree.
100 all day, every day. Get a stick.
Get a manual. Yeah. Looks better interior, I think, at the time.
Yep. Yeah, definitely back in the day. Now, today, brand new. I'm actually driving the Vantage S this week, but we'll leave that one out of it. Let's say current gen Gran Turismo versus current gen Vantage.
Still going Vantage.
Also Vantage.
Yeah. No. I think the better question is, no, even then, I was going to say 2 years ago. Actually, 4 years ago, before the Aston updates to the interior.
Sure.
Then it's a tighter race because I think the exterior of the Aston was not as pretty. The interior was aging real bad. Maserati also wasn't that fresh, but that was closer.
You know, as a new Gran Turismo, given a sufficient cash on the hood, it's a 2+2. Mm-hmm. It's a little more relaxed, and it's actually a very nice road car.
Definitely.
It's
really
also
good.
all-wheel drive.
Yep.
Which, depending on your climate, may make a difference.
It's really a cheap Porsche turbo, if there's cash on the hood, which there should be.
It's a cheap... No.
It's not as good.
It's a cheap Bentley GT.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a cheap Bentley GT if there's cash on the hood. Yeah. The Vantage is more sporting.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dotsons. Is it possible these high gas prices might boost EV sales? It is possible. We talked about this last show. Americans seem to have kind of a short attention span when it comes to, it seems to come down to, how are the gas prices at the very moment I need a new car?
Yeah. Or the very moment I'm buying gas.
Right. Was it Jared Rosenholtz? I sent you the website from CarBuzz.
Yep.
Shout out to him. Sent me an article after we talked about it before. Basically, if gas went to $4 a gallon nationally versus what it was today, the average F-150 the average F-150 driver that has a 5-liter V8 and a new F-150 would spend $1,000 a year more in gas than they're spending right now. Whereas if you have a Camry hybrid, you would spend something like $370 a year more than you were spending right now if gas went from where it is today nationally to $4 a gallon.
All right, there it is. I want to go to the table.
There's the table, right?
And then here, the second table which showed, here we go. What it would cost.
Yearly fuel. So today, national average is $2.46, but last week it was, I'm sorry.
So this is the difference if it went to
Today
4.
it would cost you, with today's fuel prices, the average driver, it would cost them $2,468 to fill up an F-150 for a year. Last week, it would have only cost $2,127. So just from last week to today, it'll cost you $340 more this year to fill up your F-150. Mm-hmm. The difference in a Camry versus today versus last week is $1,000.90 today and $878 last week. So it'll cost you $211 more this year to fill up your Camry hybrid than it just this week. It'll cost you more this week from last week. If it then goes to a $4 national average, the Camry driver will spend $374 more than today per year, and the F-150 driver will spend $1,078. So if gas goes to $5 a gallon, it'll cost $1,464 to fill up your Camry for a year, or $3,500 to fill up your F-150 for a year.
Yeah. But, back to the question and your point, I think, like, it's been like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So a few people might be thinking about buying an EV and going, oh, shit, I should have done that. But for people to make a snap decision, sell their car, buy another car, like, it's a big effort. They're probably hoping, as we all are for many reasons, like, the conflict ends and prices go back to normal. Now, if this is 7 months in and, tens of thousands of troops are there and it's like, oh, this is going to be an 8-year situation, then people might start thinking about switching to a hybrid or EV. But even then, they're going to have to do the math on how much more is this EV going to cost versus the car I have. Can I get a used one? Actually, David here was telling me that there was a Polestar 2 on Bring a Trailer that went for like $12,000.
Yeah.
That's an amazing buy.
It is.
So in that case, sure. But buying a new car, it might be too expensive.
So what would be very ironic to me would be if the Trump administration spent a year assaulting the idea of EVs, ensuring the tax credit goes away, finding this loophole so that the public chargers aren't built, only to enter us into an unforced war where gas gets so high that people are incentivized to buy EVs. That would be the most Trumpian loop of bullshit. You know what I mean?
Of the week. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know, but I love having an electric car right now. Boy, fucking do I.
Like walking to work.
Yeah, well, that too, right? Doug's dinero.
That's good.
When it comes to finding parts for older cars, the Countach, for example, are you exclusively looking for new old stock? What if you can't find the parts you need? Are manufacturers required by law to produce parts for a certain period of time after the model is discontinued? I'll take the last part first, Doug. Yes, they are. And oftentimes they stop as soon as they're legally required.
It's true.
I think Audi makes parts for 10 years after the cars stopped being made. Other cars as well. So I have had the privilege of not having to personally look for parts for the Countach. Donnie did that, and now that I'm not working with Donnie anymore, Damien is doing that, and Damien's people are doing that. So fortunately, I don't have to do that. There are a pretty good number of resources for both new, old stock, and just new parts for old Italian cars. I think they're expensive, but they exist. Now, the hard one is Hannah's Nissan POW. That motherfucker, because it's rare, it's old, and it's also not valuable enough that it's worth, like, an industry popping up to service its needs. You know, like, like at a certain point, Pirelli was forced to start making tires again. You know, people bitched. And Pirelli had to start making tires for Countaches and Diablos and LM002s, which is great. It means now that we can drive our cars. Mm-hmm. For a long time, like, we couldn't. Or if we wanted to, it was shady. But with a POW, with a POW, like, man, there's parts where, like, you don't find that shit. Like, it's because it doesn't exist anymore. Or you have to have something made or adapted. You know, so...
Real quick, Hemmings, and shout out Mike Musto, they did an article. There actually is no law that exists that says in the United States that says companies have to keep making parts.
Oh, no way.
But it seems like they do. And
Gentleman's agreement?
Yeah, and this is also why, you know, we do type in a part number and it'll be the same Bosch number or the same whatever number as other cars from other OEMs or other models. It's like car companies don't want to re-engineer, or they don't want to have their suppliers re-engineer a solenoid or a relay or a window part every new car.
Right.
Like, that's cost prohibitive for everybody. So if they can keep it going, so it might seem like they're continuing to make parts for your car, your model of car.
But your part is probably in some other cars.
It's probably in some other cars. So that's good. Now, if it's more specific, like the POW,
sure, that's
trouble. You know, that's
tough.
the
POW is a weird one. The POW is how I spent, you know, $1,800 having a genius diagnose that my fucking blinker switch was fucked up, you know. Is that the end? No.
No, there's more.
No. 2 cats, 1 car. Oh, no. Moving out of a city apartment, finally getting a place that has a garage again. I want a vintage fun car. Help me narrow down my choices. I've got 50 grand, a Land Rover Defender as a daily, and I live in South Carolina. Okay. E30 M3, Datsun 280Z, R32 Skyline GTR, 996 Turbo, 911 SC, Gen 2 or 3 Viper. Good run. There's a lot of value in these choices here.
Yeah.
A lot of value. And you are in South Carolina. Boy, are you fortunate. South Carolina, they don't give a no fucks.
R32 GTR.
They don't give a no fucks. Japan is your oyster down in South Carolina. You are good to go. So, but here's the thing with South Carolina. Not a lot of curves. Not a lot of corners. So you're really looking for a car that's going to be fun when you're cruising in straightaways and sweepers and things like that.
I think that gets rid of the E30. That's a slow vehicle.
E30 M3 is going to be out.
Yells at me.
It's going to be out for sure.
280Z.
Those bore me to tears.
Yeah.
I can't be interested in one of those. Yeah. Personally, I can't. 996 turbos are a good choice. Good choice for South Carolina. A 911 SC Targa, I love it in general. I don't think South Carolina is the most interesting place to own that particular car, but I can't hate on it. A Gen Viper.
Now we're getting, I think.
A Gen 2 or 3 Viper is pretty fun for South Carolina.
It is.
You get a lot of respect down there in one of them.
They look. I saw one on the highway today, and I went, "Damn, does that thing have presence on the road?" You just have to make sure you're short enough to use it, meaning that you can see out the windshield.
Right.
That's important. But
make sure it's comfortable for you, and I think that's a good value for money in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So for me, R32 GTR, 996 Turbo, or Viper. Personally, having driven all of those, if you could get a great 996 Turbo for 50, which I'm not sure you can, but if you could, that would be great. 50 goes a pretty long way in an R32 Skyline.
Yeah.
That gets you a nice car.
Similar to a 996 Turbo. Like, they do similar jobs, I think.
And furthermore, if you're willing to throw 50 at a JDM car, you could get some other shit that's real dope, too.
True.
You could get a very sick Supra that would just happen to be right-hand drive.
You could get a Chaser. You could get
some
crazy
other
four-door
really
Sylvia
interesting stuff. Yeah.
That's true.
Pretty interesting stuff if you're willing to go JDM. But
I'd go between Viper and GTR. It really depends on their height. And what you want to do with the car. Like, if you want to do big power stuff eventually, get the GTR. You know, put money into it and go do quarter-mile or half-mile shit.
I'd rather own a GTR than a Viper, having driven them both pretty extensively. My only hesitation in South Carolina would be who's going to work on my GTR.
Yeah.
So before you buy a JDM car in America, wherever the fuck you are, you need to make sure you have a fucking guy.
Yep.
Or gal, or whoever.
You need a person that can fix it.
Honestly, preferably non-binary. I mean, honestly, preferably.
Not a robot.
If you're identifying as a gender, you're not thinking about my car.
That's funny.
I need you to be asexual and non-binary and focused on fucking my head gasket,
if I pull up and the dude's like, "What are your pronouns?" I'm like, "You're worried about the wrong thing, sir." Yeah. I want you to focus on the tolerances of these pistons and the crank and all that stuff. Not a euphemism.
That's so funny. Username reimagined by Singer. With some sports cars nowadays being so refined you don't have to work to drive them fast like cars in the 90s and 2000s, what new car would you like to be a little more unrefined?
I mean, BMW M cars.
BMW M cars
Steering
are a great choice, but I would also like to be able to... Well, so unrefined is a good word because I can place it wherever I would like. I'd like to remove all ADAS functions upon restart. That would make them more unrefined, technically.
I think one of the problems, one of the things I'd remove is a lot of the NVH, because there's a lot of cars today that sound good outside the car, and we have to have the speakers talk to us because we can't hear the engine note because people have asked for a quieter car. So choose your sports car, but I mean, there's plenty of stuff that sounds rad when you roll the window down, and when you roll it up, you can't hear anything.
That's an interesting problem, right? It's like people want their car to be more refined. They also want to hear the engine. They also don't want to hear the negative stuff. So what do? You know, they have to augment with shit through the speakers or whatever. Sure. And it's usually when you turn that stuff off, you realize why it's there in the first place.
Well, it's because it's like they're trying to get rid of a lot of road noise too, and that's what a lot of the active noise canceling is doing in a car. It's getting like there's microphones in some cars in the wheel wells and shit. It's canceling these frequencies, but one of the byproducts of that is also muting the exhaust note, which it can be a shame.
Yeah. LL Cartier, gun to your head. You have to take your wife on a date in a Mansory product. What would it be?
What is the longest car they make?
I'm not familiar with can we pull up their website and see what their product range looks like today? I think they came up with something, I think they came up with something recently that wasn't as heinous as I've seen in the past.
Well,
that's not good. No, that's not good.
The Rolls-Royce Cullinan is really bad.
Carbonado! That's a fucking awesome name.
That sounds like a pasta dish. Wait, I'll go back to it.
Sangwe, that's watching. Ugly. The Lamborghini Carbonaro.
Carbonado. Can I have cheese on the side,
please? It's
like
a pasta dish. The Koenigsegg Jesko by Mansory. It doesn't look like they've done anything. That's what I would do. No,
they've done a little too much.
Have they?
That's what you would, yeah. Because the Jesko looks pretty aggressive, but I think they added all of these many gills here.
Yeah, but like I can't personally tell that Koenigsegg hasn't done that.
That's fair.
Like if you saw that's it.
You would take her on the boat.
I would take my wife on a boat in the Pirelli 42 by Mansory, which is a rib boat, semi-rigid. And it looks like it goes about 60.
On the trip, we saw a Brabus boat.
Yeah,
remember that?
We did see the Brabus.
It was kind of like this.
It's got triple V12 offshores. God, that's terrible. Wow. Oh, God. It's all gone wrong.
This is better. So, the Equestre, which is based on a Ferrari 12 Cylindri.
That's
very bad.
Brutal. Wow, that's so terrible. What are you? Wait, is that real?
Of course it is.
That's a G-Wagon? Converted
into a 4-door convertible.
But it somehow looks like a Jimny. They've made it look like a Jimny.
They messed up the proportions somehow.
Dude, it looks like a Chinese knockoff of itself.
It does. It does. They've gone full circle.
Okay, I'm not going to say the word because we don't say the word anymore, but the word, the R word is how it looks. It's you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking. They've droopy dogged it. It's like
there's got all these there's angles here. It makes it's just a collision of carbon fiber.
Droopy dog ass Thailand fucking.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, the whole front looks like it's melting.
Oh my God,
this is a fun game. All right,
bro,
so far
brutal.
The Bentley, the Continental GT.
Oh wow,
is
in black,
the most subtle.
It's a modicum of taste. Yeah, it's all black. That's why. That's perfect. The Mansory Initiate, from what I can see in this photo, which is apparently just an exterior silhouette, it's perfect.
They took a picture at night. That was good.
Whoa. Oh no, these Rolls Royces are no go. Oh God, what are they doing? What are they doing to G-Wagons?
This is called the Pugnator.
The Pugnator.
Pugnator. But if I'm buying an $800,000 car, is the image I want to think of a pug? Love that dog. We lived with one for 4 years. Not the aesthetic I'm going for with the car.
800 G's on a Ferrari.
All right.
So listen, all these are bad, but one of them is a boat, and so you could,
I think I'm going to go with your answer. I would take Sarah out in the Koenigsegg because it looks like a spaceship, and it is. The rest of these are just they've taken
truly extraordinary. Wow, truly extraordinary.
Impressive. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Nugatori in Nagoya says, I feel like Mitsubishi is circling the drain. Let's give them some love. What are the best Mitsubishis of all time?
Oh, I mean, every Evo.
Obviously, your Evo range and your Pajero Evo and your Eclipse GSX, and its siblings.
The Eagle.
There was for a minute the Diamante was some shit. Back in '93, a Diamante was like something.
I liked the Galant when I was younger. I just thought it looked nice.
Galant VR4,
I thought it was a pretty good looking car. 3000 GT was all right.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Rye Pontiac Rye says the 25 WRX is doing a 0.0% APR, and the 26 WRX has reduced its price by $3,000 to $4,000 across the board. How are they valued in your opinion? I mean, the thing about the WRX is it is a fabulous 6/10ths car.
Yeah.
It's such a 6/10ths car.
The problem with that is you can get that same amount of joy from a lot of other cars, so it's no longer unique in that way.
Yeah, like it's great. When we had it at Performance Car of the Year, it was so soft. Like this formula was dope in 02. Mm-hmm. In 02, 225, 250 horsepower, all-wheel drive manual, light. That was sick
and rare.
It's been same. It's been the same shit since then. So like, it's not that this is a bad car. It's that it's a very soft car.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to buy a car that's like a real sports car, it falls apart at like pretty low levels of stress.
Yeah, I think I've had more fun in a Civic Si, which is cheaper because these start at $37,000.
That's crazy.
So you're getting like
what's an Elantra N?
Elantra N is
same or less
up a little bit.
So, yeah, it went up a little bit, like fun. Same or less, and just smoking it.
Yeah, absolutely destroying it. That starts at 35. Cheaper, yeah.
The idea that you would buy a WRX today rather than an Elantra N is crazy.
That is a wild thing. But like, people go all-wheel drive. Just if you got good tires, front-wheel drive is gonna be fine.
Yeah,
that's the rule. Wow. And I think Subaru. They asked, is Subaru ever considering the idea of an STI? I think there were some stories last week that Subaru put some patent docs in for something that looks a lot like a new STI. So,
I mean, if they're going to be taken seriously as a performance brand, which I don't know if they care if they are.
True.
I mean, they make money selling Foresters and Outbacks and whatever, and you've heard my thoughts on the new Outback. They're not great, but anyway, let's go to Broken BMW Apologist. I'm headed to a car... okay. I'm headed to a car-related photo shoot. Our professional driver has had to cancel last second. The shoot team knows I've been doing high-performance driving and racing for a decade and have asked me to fill in as pro driver. I feel a bit of imposter syndrome because obviously the goal of racing is not to power slide around corners on demand. Any advice on how to approach power sliding a car on demand for camera? Yes. I do have advice.
There's a lot. I think there's a lot to this question.
There's a lot to this question. And this is advice that is worn in blood. Not blood, but one very much totaled Audi R8 at the Anglesey circuit.
For people listening, this is great. You're pouring a whiskey, which is like I just asked a police officer of 40 years for this story, and he's like, this night. And you crack it open.
All right, listen. Here's the lesson I learned from Chris Harris, and I'm going to tell you. You don't learn to slide a corner in a car. Now, I assume you're going to be driving a car that is not your car. Like if this is your car, and you're familiar with how to slide your car, and the only difference is there's a camera there, that's a different question. Make sure the camera is in a very safe place.
Make sure it's not in the impact zone, meaning on the outside of the corner, unless they have a long if everything went really wrong on this corner, your energy is probably going to the outside of it, and make sure that camera is not in that spot.
Or it's looping to the inside just after the apex. If you overcook it and lose. So don't be in those two places.
Yeah.
That's the photographer's side.
And I will say real quick, and I'll let you go, this photography team, they may not be as experienced as you think they are. They may be very experienced, great, but you are going to have to think about safety. And if they're putting you in a position that you feel is unsafe, you have to be able to tell them that and maybe explain why, because they might just go, oh, we shoot flowers and dogs a lot. Why can't I stand here? Because if I lose it here, I'm hitting you in the face with a car. So just be comfortable doing that.
So in my experience, and I say this as not being the best driver in the world, if you're the best driver in the world, if you're Lee Keen, if you're Chris Harris, you're probably not asking this question in the Smoking Tire podcast, so I'll assume you're not, right? So here's what Chris taught me after I fucking crashed, and here's what I've done ever since and has worked. The way to learn how to slide a car around a corner is not to try to slide a car around a corner. The way to slide a car around a corner is to drive the car clean with traction control fully disabled until you go and pushing yourself faster and faster and faster and braking into the corners harder and harder and harder to load up your front end harder and harder and harder, so that eventually you get to a point where you turn in on that front end and the back steps out naturally. Where you're going to have a problem is if you try to initiate a power slide on power, that's a less controllable slide. Whereas what you really want, and any drifting school would teach you this, but same here, is you want to be going quick enough that you got to brake really hard. And braking really hard is going to shift that weight forward. And you lay on that brake and you are trail braking through the turn in so that as you're turning in, that weight's on the nose so much that that's when the back end steps out for the slide. And by initiating your slide under braking, you have a much more controlled slide. That is really what you want to be doing for the camera. So you don't just fucking sit at the entrance to the corner and try and power just, and because you're just going to spin. It's just going to be a mess. Instead, practice driving it clean. Go, okay, guys, photo team, we need our clean shots first. While you get your clean shots, you're going quicker and quicker and quicker until you find a point the car wants to oversteer under braking, or you can make it oversteer under braking. And that's the start point for doing your slides, I think. Or don't listen to me because I don't fucking know shit. TST's new Peterbilt. It's a Kenworth. It's a Kenworth, please. I will only buy a Kenworth. You should watch Ice Road Truckers 2. It's crazy. PSA, the Right to Repair Act was introduced in the House and needs enthusiast community's help. Is it sign the petition? Is that the thing? What do we want? What do they want people to
do? Yeah, tell your legislator to support it. So just go to the website. We'll put it in the show notes, but this comes up every year, unfortunately, and it's something that basically affects anyone who owns a car. So, yeah.
I don't know the answer to Carne Azanda's question, although you have a great username. Prayer of the Refugee Wagon with Montana plates. What would net the better driving and ownership experience? An older but well-maintained 911 or a newer Boxster Cayman that costs the same as an older 911? Lots of things to consider, but for the same entry price, what would you choose? Dude, this is a tough one because I don't personally, and maybe this makes me elitist somehow, but I don't work backwards from my budget. I don't go, I have $40,000 that can get me a 2014 Cayman, or it can get me a 2006 911. Which should I buy? I have a dream that one day my children that don't exist, I have a dream to own a car. That dream could be a long-term dream like the Countach. It could be a short-term dream like I drive Rick DeMann's silver car and I go, fuck me, I've got to have this. Or Lee Keen's car would go, oh my God, I've got to have this. But I have a dream. I fall in love with a car and then I figure out how to pay for it. So this question of what is the better driving owner experience, it's like the quote owner experience is you have a Porsche, you have to maintain it at Porsche shops or maintain it yourself using Porsche parts. Like, it's not that much more expensive to maintain a 911 than it is to maintain a Boxster. That's the argument against cheap Boxsters and 944s and 968s and whatever the fuck, right? So like, do you want a mid-engine car or do you want a 911? Like, you know, do you think differently than me on this?
No, I always think of the car first.
Yeah.
I don't go, I have this much money that I just want to spend on a car. What can I get? It's like, what has captured my imagination? And then can I find a car that costs this much? And then if I can't, what cars are available in my budget range that would give me some of the same flavor?
Yeah, the question isn't what would approximate a 911 for 40 grand or what would approximate a Cayman. It's I don't want to dismiss a question that starts with budget and works backwards, because so many of our questions start with budgets and work backwards, and almost everybody out in the real world does have a budget. But I just really want to impress on people that starting with it's weird to me personally. I have a budget. It might be higher than other people's, but I have a budget. I can't just fucking buy whatever. I like you. I start with a dream and then figure out a budget. So what do you want? Do you want a newer Porsche mid-engined? Do you want an older Porsche rear-ended? Like,
yeah.
They just feel different. Like I don't believe that a 911 is inherently better than a Cayman. It's not. In many ways, it's worse, actually. And obviously, I spent my money on a Boxster. I could have bought a 911. There's a million 911s I could have bought, but I bought a Boxster. And I love it. And it's fucking perfect. So, like, I don't know. It's like, what's your dream? And, I mean, yes, you can buy a nicer, newer, more powerful Cayman for the same money than you can get 911. Sure. But, like, that may not be the dream.
Yeah. The vibe will be different. The power will be different. The handling is different.
Yeah.
The cost of ownership will probably be different.
Re-education through working on shit boxes. That's very good. I'm looking into E46 M3 SMGs with the sole intention of manual swapping them. Have either of you driven a swapped one? And is there anything notable or weird about them that could potentially make it worthwhile to just get the original? I haven't heard any real issues with manual swapping BMWs.
I haven't either. If they're done the right way with all the right parts, from what I've heard, they feel the same.
Well, and I don't think so. BMW, unlike Ferrari, like Ferrari only made a very small number of let's say manual gearbox 599s. Like parts don't exist. You know, Ferrari made a very small number, relatively speaking, of manual gearbox 430s.
Right.
Like the parts have been made by third parties, hopefully to factory spec, but like maybe not. The BMW E46, there is no shortage of factory spec parts that are available to do this swap, right?
Yeah.
You could any part is available.
Because BMW knows I need to be able to service my manual equipped from the factory E46. So all the parts and all the little knickknacks and all the levers are available in case one of those fails on my car.
Yeah, and is it Getrag who makes your gearbox?
I think so.
And so the Getrag 6-speed, it was used in other things. Other BMWs, other stuff, like in its basic form. So things like clutch cables and blah, blah, just like all that shit just like exists for BMWs. So like, whereas the limited number of Ferraris and like back when I was investigating that shady ass company, I called Graziano because this company was alleging to me that they could do 458 swaps and other manual Ferrari swaps. And they said that they had gearboxes coming from Graziano. Well, I called fucking Graziano, and they had no idea who these people were.
Whoa.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like, shit is not always above board.
Right.
But I suspect, and I mean this as suspect, that there are enough parts available to do an effective manual BMW swap.
I think it's a known thing. I would just look on the forums and stuff and make sure there's no weirdness with like the computer. The car came with an automatic. Does the engine get talked to by that transmission, and now is it getting confused? But probably not.
I mean, we've driven enough SMGs, dude. I'll tell you that an SMG is straight trash.
So bad.
Even our boy Peter's car, and what a lovely
car was
man!
Amazing.
What a lovely man, and what a lovely build. But like, you ain't fooling me, motherfucker. Not with that. That shit is terrible.
I was like, all this money?
That shit is so terrible.
He wanted it to be like the one he had. I get it,
bro.
Now
SMG is
swap it.
Garbage. Oh man. Jacking off the record. If you were keeping a watch for life, would you care about the box and papers? No, I would not. No, I have watches that don't have box and papers. I don't give a fuck. It's money. Box and papers is money in, money out. You're going to pay less up front because the watch doesn't have box and papers, and then the guy you sell it to is going to pay you less because it doesn't have box and papers. In between, that motherfucker's on your wrist. The box and papers, if they existed, are in some drawer somewhere, taking up space.
And if I knew I was going to keep the watch forever, then I wouldn't care about the box and papers because I would only have that if I'm like, maybe one day I'll sell this and I'll get more money for it.
Look, if you already have the box and papers, you should keep them. There's not a reason not to keep them.
But I wouldn't seek out that watch with that stuff.
I understand why people want it. You buy a car with service records, you buy a car with no service records. You know what I mean? You buy a car with no service records, it's going to be 20% cheaper, and you might have to do fucking whatever, right? And then you sell the car with service records, and it's going to bring less money because of the same exact reason. It's the same bullshit. If you have them, great. If there's a watch you love that doesn't have them, price accordingly. You know, make sure it's not fake. You know, but there's fake boxes and fake service records. Like, you buy the seller, but in my opinion, like, no. If the watch is legit, it's a real watch. Like, whatever. Like, no, money in, money out. Yeah. Avenged Lotus Sevenfold. That's great. What's a normal car that a manufacturer could have made special? That's a very good question. And I think one of your examples is actually the Honda Fit Type R. A Fit Type R would have been bananas. It would have been so fast, it absolutely would have ripped. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they race those things. They're really, really fun. The Juke R was special, right?
The Juke R was absolutely special.
So that one I wouldn't include, but yeah, a Fit Type R would have been sick.
Yeah.
Element Off-Road, nah, that would have been slow, and that would have been like an Outback. Who cares?
A normal car. I mean, I got to give a shout out to Ford on this one. The Mach-E Rally went from a toaster to an unbelievably dynamic machine that I would put up against the 911 Dakar in a rally scenario any fucking day.
Yeah, or like put up against GR Corolla for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I would not call the Charger Hellcat normal.
No. Pontiac Simon Phoenix. So, by the way, if you come to the race, if you end up doing the race, I'm almost locked on a Durango Hellcat transport vehicle for us to get from the airport to the track, because the Friday is practice quali day, and you can run street legal vehicles. Okay. And we could track test the Durango Hellcat at Road America, which would be a really good. I did the Jeep Trackhawk at Road Atlanta, and it was an unbelievably fun time.
Yeah, dude, the Durango would be fun.
It would rip.
My God.
Yeah, it would rip.
Talk about gas consumption, bro.
It would be so bad.
4 miles per gallon, maybe.
It would be so bad. But Dodge is giving me a Charger for this road and track thing, the Desert 600, but they won't let me put it on the track. They say there's a track-ready one coming, but it's not this one, and they don't want me to put it on the track. And I understand. I do understand, and I'm not going to put it on the track. I want to drive it on the road trip, but I said, you know, like the week after that trip, I'm going to Road America. Do you have a Durango Hellcat in Chicago? Because I have to pick up 3 people at the airport and load all of their fucking shit and racing gear out to Wisconsin to the track. And then I need something to practice in on Friday at Road America. And he's like, we have a Durango Hellcat for you.
Whoa,
and I was like,
Dude, the sound of that on the long straight, oh man, you get to listen to that tune for a while.
Dude, you might be passing race cars. It is possible. Because the race cars are on track too.
Yeah, but they have way less horsepower.
Yeah, you're fucking dude. Our race car is like 280 horsepower, 700 horsepower.
Yeah. At the end of the straight, it would definitely pass it. Power to weight be damned. Yeah, plus the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it is so silly. Pontiac Simon Phoenix. Last one, and then we're going to wrap this particular show, and we'll save the rest for later. My brother's looking at a Taycan. He's convinced he wants an early model Turbo or Turbo S. I'm trying to convince him to get a newer base model. Anything that he would be missing going with this plan? Okay. Just my advice, you don't want a 20 or 21. You want a 22 and up. That's what I have. My car has been fine.
But why do you not want that year?
The first year had really some issues with
bugs,
with battery problems and all kinds of crazy shit. And a lot of the cars were fixed. Some of the cars were lemoned, but so I wouldn't get a 20 or 21. I wouldn't buy any of them, honestly. 22 and up, I think you're probably okay. Having said that, if all Taycans are really fast, even the base model. So if you aren't used to very fast cars, a Taycan Turbo S is like riding a rocket. It's disturbingly fast. It will make you nauseous. People want what they want, and they just want the fastest one. I get it. You want to brag or whatever, scare your friends once or twice. Like, I totally get it. Like, what I wouldn't do is talk someone out of the thing they want by saying they don't need it, because that's not how people buy cars.
Yeah.
But I would advise them against buying a 20 or a 21, and I would just say, look, a 4S 2022 is still like insanely fast. Like, just get that, and you'll have a lot less issues, reliability, whatever. Debadge it if you must.
Right, or get him a turbo badge for Christmas. Because if he's looking at the bad year turbo, that means that whoever's selling it knows it's from a rough year. They're going to unload it for cheap, and if he can, but if he's looking at like a 23 turbo and he can afford that versus like a 24, 25, other
Well, he says early model. Early model to me means 2021.
Yeah, then just send him the many, many forum posts.
Yeah, the reliability stories are not great on those, and 22 and up is substantially better. They refined a lot of stuff, and ours has been ours is just one, but ours has been good. I haven't heard like crazy horror stories about them. So I'd focus on reliability more so than you don't need a turbo, because nobody wants to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? The number of people I know that have cars far beyond the power that they're truly capable of handling is huge.
Yeah.
It's basically everybody. So yeah. Right?
Yep.
Right. That's our show. Thank you, everybody. We love you all. Thank you to our patrons for supporting us throughout the years. We certainly appreciate it. And thank you to everybody else for listening. We appreciate you as well. See you next time. Bye.